In today's video, I will show you how to create this simple gown in simple steps. So this is our material. I have the material laid down this way and I'm marking the neck width of 3 inches. And after the 3 inches mark, I marked 5 inches and I came down by 1 inch in order to slope the shoulder area. This is actually a simple gown, go anywhere gown. You can make this gown in minutes even if you are not a tailor. So I have the front and the back. The back is longer by 1 inch because we'll be having a center seam. So I'm marking the shoulder divided by 2. You measure your shoulder, you divide it by 2, whatever you have, you mark plus sewing allowance. So you measure your armhole depth, which is usually gotten by bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. So this is it for our armhole depth, like so. You measure what you have there, you divide it by 2. This is what I'm marking there. Come in by half an inch. Yes, come in by half an inch. And you connect the points. Input your bust circumference divided by 4 plus ease allowance plus your sewing allowance. You connect to achieve your armhole curve this way. Shoulder to waist measurement, that is what we are marking there. Our shoulder to waist. So this is our waist line. So you mark your waistline. From that waistline, you measure waist to hip, which is usually between 8 to 9 inches. So you measure quarter of your waist circumference. That is, you divide it by 4. You add your ease allowance plus your sewing allowance. Ease allowance is how free you want the cloth on your body. Quarter of your hip circumference you mark. Ease allowance plus your sewing allowance. You mark it there as well. That is for the hip. And you connect all the points together. This way, you connect to the waistline and also connect to the hip line this way. So this is it. So at that center back, we want to go in by half an inch just to shape that area. And you blend it back to the initial line this way. So for our back neck depth, I'm marking 1.5. For the width of the neck, we are working with 3.5, like so. And we are making a V-neck here. So you determine the depth where you want your V to end and you connect it this way. This is for our front neck line because we are achieving a V-neck here. So we are going to be drawing this line down to our hemline. That is the length of our gown. So I have pushed the material forward this way. You measure whatever you have at the hip area. You will input it at that hemline. And you can add 2 to 3 inches just to free it a bit, to give it a little A-line shape. So that is it there. And I came up by 1 inch just to shape that area a bit, or you can come up by 2 inches just to shape it. So we proceed to cutting this out. This gown is actually easy to make. If you can follow these simple steps, you'll be able to create a simple and unique gown you can rock anywhere. So this is the center back. We have gone ahead to attach them together. So we want to cut out a facing for the center back. So you cut out a facing because we'll be using it to finish the neck area this way. So we want to bring the facing for the front, so we'll be having the same thing at that area. You cut this out. This is for the facing. We'll be using it to finish the raw edges at the neck. So this is for the front facing and this is for the back. So we'll be attaching the other one to the front and the other one at the back. So let's cut out the sleeve for this gown. I'm marking the biceps. That is, measure your arm round and determine the width. And this is the length of the blouse. So we bring in our gown, we'll measure the armhole area like so. Whatever you have there, you'll be placing it like this. Yes, we want to shape out our sleeve head. This line, you will be dividing it by 3. You will divide this line by 3. So you'll be able to shape out your sleeve head. You make use of your curve. If you don't have a curve ruler, you can as well use your hand to maneuver this. You flip it the other way around and shape the other side like so. Just watch what I'm doing. So you measure to make sure what you have there is equal to whatever you have at the armhole area. So this is for our hemming. I marked 2 inches and I fold it down inward this way. It's important to do it this way so that you don't have any shortage while folding. So it is time to take our round sleeve measurements. You measure that side. You put the measurements and your sewing allowance. Add our sewing allowance and you connect the lines this way. We'll cut this out. This is for our sleeve. So we're almost done with this. The next thing is to go to our machine and join all the pieces together, and you will achieve a good looking